Yeah, yeah, yeah. Welcome. Yeah, I said welcome. Welcome to the Corner Store Podcast with your host, OMD300, coming out of Los Angeles, California, a little southwest, about 20, 30 miles from downtown Los Angeles in the beautiful San Fernando Valley. Welcome to the Corner Store Podcast, episode 154. I am your host, OMD Dex 300. Thank you for being here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is greatly appreciated. I'd like to first start off by saying thank you to our last guest who was on the podcast, singer Christina. Uh, Absolutely amazing young lady. We had a terrible start to the podcast. It was technically, it was my fault. I'm gonna just say it right now. It was my fault that the pod started off the way it did with the sound issues, which I have now rectified, and I understand my equipment even more than I did before. And that's important. That's important for the simple fact that we want to be able to actually use this equipment properly. It's just me. And I used to be one of them kind of cats that was so technically sound, bro. So technically sound, always be the first one to try to put the DVD together and all these other different things. But things have changed. I don't know if it's because I've got dumber or slower. Shout out to Freddie. What's up, man? What's popping with you, man? Everything's good out here in Los Angeles, bro. Shout out to my man Freddie right here in the building. I appreciate you being here. Thank you for being here. As I was saying before, thank you so much to Christina for being on the pod. Episode 153. We had a great conversation with her, even through the technical difficulties. I'm just going to go ahead and explain what happened when in regards to that. I had to start the show over like 4 times. On the fourth try, I got the sound back up, and now I understand why the sound wasn't working. When you first set up your stream, they give you a list. I didn't even notice this on my computer. They give you a list at the bottom. It's a little arrow. You click it, it will show you all the different types of microphones that you've plugged up to the stream. My goofy ass didn't even notice this. There's also, and I was wondering why I couldn't, for the life of me, back in the day, before I had my webcam or my digital camera, I'm sorry, hooked up to the computer. I couldn't get the integrated camera, which is right here on the screen on my laptop. Why I could not get the integrated camera to work. And it's the same thing with that. I don't know. Either I'm losing my touch on reality or I'm losing my grip on actually knowing what the hell I'm doing. Obviously, it must be the second one. Well, hey, it is what it is on that. We in the building, regardless. I actually want to try some other uh, microphones as well next time because I had a setup where I had a 2 microphone setup. I had it all set up for her. It was gonna be dope as hell. Everything was like locked in. We had it all locked in. I start the podcast and Uberiago, nothing came out. All we had was integrated sound, which you have to change when you incorporate a new microphone. You have to change the settings and you have to look down at the bottom and see that the setting says this mic has to be on, so forth and so on. So I want to apologize to her. I want to apologize to the people that came onto the pod and couldn't hear us, and I had to summarily stop the pod because when you send out the link, you send out the link to one show, and if you stop it and do it over, you have to send out a whole new link, and there's a whole bunch of bullshit to that. But It is what it is. Thank y'all for being here. Shout out to Christina, wonderful singer, wonderful person, hardworking, somebody that you can honestly say is an amazing artist as well as an amazing person. And we appreciate her being on the show. Yo, today's episode, if you didn't already see, is how should I put this? This show is dedicated, even though I made a mistake at the beginning. It says it's music oriented, which it is not. It's people and blogs. This is a people and blogs episode. People and blogs episode, meaning we're talking about shit that's going on out there in the world. Now, if you haven't seen, there's a video going around of a young lady in New York City. Shout out to Best. What's going on? What's up with you? My boy Matthew from France. Small, beautiful beach city in the south or the north of France. I'm not sure. I keep forgetting every time he's on the show. I keep forgetting what particular area. I know that you are in a beach city. I actually saw a photo from your Instagram. I believe it's a beach scene. West Coast. He's from the western coast of France, not the south of France, which a lot of people seem to think is the most beautiful part of France, from what I keep hearing. But he's from the west coast of the beautiful country of France. Vive la France! Parlez-vous français, sous, which I would like to go there one day. Parlez-vous français, you know what I'm saying? I always liked Inspector Clouseau with Doo-Doo. You always liked Peter Sellers playing Inspector Clouseau. Inspector Clouseau. We will find the culprit. We will find the culprit. He is not going to go far. I always love Clouseau. Shout out to my man, Matt. I love you, dog. Thank you for being here. As I was stating, there's a video going around of a young lady, and there's a lot of people like myself. I guess they're like myself, some more popular than others, some not as popular. Like me, I'm starting to gain a little momentum as far as people in regards to them listening to me and watching what we do, or what I do, I should say. And I should say what we do, since do have people on here talking to me from time to time. There's a lot of anger in regards to some of these podcasters out there. What do you want to call them? Social media pundits. When they do these street interviews, and a lot of it has to do with politics and their views on certain aspects of life, though it be abortion or homelessness or any of that. There's a lot of vitriol in regards to this stuff. A lot of vitriol. I mean, these are hot topics, and everybody has a different view on these idealisms. And of course, yes, it is an ism. So, if you go out on these streets and you ask people questions in regard to their feelings on certain topics, especially when you know these topics are hot topics, we're talking about topics that can get people pretty upset. And it seems like to me that these certain individuals are going out on the street and they're doing this on purpose to get people's reaction. We've said this before. There are certain podcasters, YouTubers, TikTokers that only rub people the wrong way to get their reaction so they can get some type of content and make their videos go viral. Well, I think there's one young lady who happens to be very attractive. I'm sorry to say. I am a man, so if there's a woman that's going to be attractive, I'm going to say so. Not necessarily because I want her or nothing like that. She was a pretty girl, curly hair, a nice little dress. Someone that if you saw her on the street and she put a microphone in your face, 9 times out of 10, especially if you're a man, maybe even a woman as well, you would think, okay, she seems harmless enough. I'll entertain her question. And all of a sudden, this woman goes off on you and starts saying that you're a baby killer and you condone babies being murdered and all kind of shit. Why was this woman surprised when the woman she was talking to and she made these accusations to her that she got her fucking eye dotted? Why would you be surprised? Why in the world would you be surprised that this woman attacked you after you said what you said? I don't understand that. I don't understand it. Now, if you haven't seen the video, please go Google it, YouTube it, TikTok it, whatever you just put in interviewer attacked in New York, and this happened in New York, one of the most hot pockets of people stressing and living very hard. You know what I'm saying? Stressing. Now, how you gonna stop? This chick might have been on the way to work. You don't know what she's got going on in her life, and you stop her to ask her some bullshit about some political stuff on the street. A tax reporter. That's what it was. Let me see if I got it right here. This might be. This might be it. I don't think. Let me see. Women attack. There it is. I got it right here. Listen to this sound. Listen to this sound and tell me what you think.
It was pretty crazy. But you guys have been seeing this video of the blue dress girl is what they're adorning her from getting sucker punched by interviewing another individual in New York City. And I watched the full interview, and the fact that it started off so peacefully is kind of crazy. So I'm gonna play you a clip. There's some interviews today. I love your skin tone too. Such a good vibe. Of course. Well, awesome. So we're asking people's opinion today on Planned Parenthood. Are you familiar with them? Yes. Okay. And do you know what they provide? Yes. Abortions. Yes. Yes. Okay. Safe abortions. Okay. Yes. Do you know any other services that they provide? I don't like to tease if you're under 18, you could get like birth control, condoms, counseling. They offer a lot of, beneficial things that the youth really should use right now. Okay. So you have a pretty positive view of Planned Parenthood. I mean, majority. I don't know. Is this like a yes or no? Am I wrong? Your opinion. But yeah, that is definitely my opinion. I feel like, especially as teens, people get caught up in things that they really don't want to commit to for their entire lives. So, if you get caught up with the wrong guy, you think you're in love, and then I don't know what.
Now, they go on and have a back and forth in regards to, as you heard, about Planned Parenthood. Now, ask yourself this question. If you were that young lady and some girl, very cute, unassuming woman, walks up in you in a pretty flowery blue dress with a flower print, little headband and some shades on top of her head, with a microphone and a camera person. Camera person obviously didn't look hostile or look like they were out for ill good. And they start to ask you about, now, first off, as soon as they start asking you questions about Planned Parenthood or something that's political like that, about maybe abortion, you should already know. You should already know what's coming. What's up? What's up, Fred? You know what I'm saying? West Coast is in the building. I have to shout out and acknowledge the people in the chat whenever they say something to me. The West Coast, the left coast is definitely in the building. And somebody approaches you, as I was stating, and they ask you a question in regard to that. You got to know something's up. You got to already know something's up with this. You got to know this person is up to no good, and they're looking for a specific reaction from you. You got to know that they're looking for a specific reaction from you, because that topic and topics similar to it is a hotbed of controversy. You got to know that going in. Now, the interview continued, and the young lady asked the woman what's her views on it. How does she feel? The young lady that she was interviewing spoke very eloquently in regards to, hey, it's a, Planned Parenthood is a needed entity. It's something that is needed. I definitely agree. A woman has a right to choose whether she wants to have a child or not, even in regards to the man. And if the man might be religious, he might want his child, but you got to realize something. It's all circumstantial to the decision being made, not just because the chick wants to get rid of it or anything like that. You obviously have to have a sit down and talk to the person and find out their views. But ultimately, it is a decision of the woman whether she keeps that child or not. There are all different types of circumstances in regard to having an abortion, being raped, sexually assaulted, all different types of reasons. And obviously, the right of the political spectrum in this country and around the world seems to believe that they kill these babies late in term and late in a woman's term, almost to the point where the child is almost developed. That is a lie. They've been telling that lie for many moons now. That is an absolute lie. That is a lie. Don't let them fool you. What's more important to them is being able to get your vote and tell you exactly how you should be feeling. Politics is about feelings now more than it is about who's in office. It's about how this person feels about what you feel and how much you might agree or disagree with them. That's what politics is all about these days. Everybody knows this. But getting back to the interview, the young lady asked the woman, how do you feel about being a baby killer? How do you feel about being a baby killer? The interviewee, the person who was being interviewed, felt very attacked by that statement and hauled off and two-pieced the shit out of the girl in the blue dress. Had her leaking, had her bleeding, had her mouth and eyes swole. Do you agree with her reaction? I'm going to ask the chat that. We got a couple of people in the chat. I'm going to ask you, Freddie. I'm going to ask you, Matthew. Do you agree with the response from the interviewee? The interviewer asked her, would she like to ask some questions or have a back and forth or dialogue in regards to the subject she broached? And to summarily basically attack the person that you're interviewing just to get clicks and likes or get a hostile response or a hostile back and forth with this person, sometimes you get what you ask for. And it's not necessarily the words that you wanted, but a two-piece that you got. What do you guys feel about that? I don't necessarily agree with the woman's response. I don't. I do not necessarily agree with her response to the question, but I understand it. I totally understand why she did what she did. Now, from what I understand, the girl was arrested. They did find her and they did arrest her. Why should she be arrested for being? I think she was attacked by the young lady who was the interviewer. I think she went out of her way to stir up this controversy to get the reaction she got. She didn't think she was going to get actually got hands put on her ass, but she knew she was going to get something in regards to, hey, what's happening? Shout out to Sonia Ingersoll's in the building. Thank you, Sonia, for being here. We're just talking about a video that's going around of a young lady interviewing people in the streets of New York and getting her ass socked up absolutely amazingly by someone she tried to stir up controversy with. The sad part is now the interviewer, the young lady in the blue dress, is playing victim. I'm 6'5", damn near 400 pounds. I'm a big, big dude. I've fought and scratched and I'm ex-military. I've had all types of ups and downs, physical altercations with people went through life, which I never condone any of this stuff. But I would be remiss to think if I started doing street interviews, which are coming, by the way. There are street interviews that will be coming soon from me. I will be talking to a bunch of people out on the street real soon. I'm getting all that squared away as we speak and getting people's views on certain things. You are opening yourself up for controversy when you do that. You better know the subject that you are talking to people, and you better realize certain subjects that you bring up out in public from strangers who you have no idea who they are. You don't know these people. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know their mental state. You don't know jack shit about what's going on in people's heads when they're walking around in their day to day out here on these streets. I don't care if you go to the nicest neighborhood in America, you will bring out the worst in people when you bring up subjects that are a hotbed or topics that are very controversial. It's the fact. You know what you're doing when you do this. Let's talk about the other type of social media, not just the political type. Let's talk about the people that are going around. There's this one guy called, I can't think of his name at the moment, but let me describe what he does. Calls himself some type of goon or something. You will be walking around with your girlfriend. You'll be walking with your girlfriend. Let's say this girlfriend has some assets. Let's say she has a nice behind, a nice body, very attractive. Holding hands with your woman. And this fucking fossil Neanderthal idiot, for whatever reason, he feeling like, okay, well, I'm a goon and I'm from the street, and I guarantee you I can say what I want to somebody about their woman and talk about their woman's physical attributes right in front of them, and they're not gonna do nothing. He'll walk past you when you're with your girl hand in hand, just minding your business, and say, "Damn, I'll bone the f out of her. Look at them iddies. She looking good as hell." Real disrespectful. And some of these guys can take, the guy's kind of a goon looking dude. So some of the dudes that are with their woman, you can tell they're a little scared to say something back to defend their lady. Now, the ones who be ready to get down, guess what this bastard does? He actually pulls a gun on them. Why he is not in prison or going to jail for aggravated assault or, or whatever, this world has lost its mind in regards to social media. It's lost its mind as far as people making money off of anybody that's been a part of corner store television content. You ain't never seen me do no shit like that. I've been out at, if you go down and look at my live shows for my shorts, mostly the live shows, I've had lives at clubs. There's only one time where I got into it in a situation where me and somebody was about to, like, it was heading in the direction that I didn't like. And it was a live show in South Central LA. We was at a little small venue where they have these music events. And I was happened to be there to interview some of the people who were going to be performing, and also the young lady who put the thing together. And some guy comes out of nowhere wanting to talk about Trump. This is the first time when Trump was running in office or something. This was a few years back. And I was blown away by this nigga showing up on my, and me and my buddy Mr. Slim, aka my boy Marcus, he was co-hosting with me. That was one of the times, first times my last guest, Christina, was on the show because she was performing that night. And that woman got guts. She goes anywhere to do her music. She's a straight up girl from the she's actually from Rhode Island, but moved to California, and obviously moving to the valley would probably be the best thing for somebody from Rhode Island to get to know California. But she's real adventurous and also loves her craft. So if she wants people to hear her, she got to go everywhere. She got to go to the black side of town, the white side, the Hispanic side. She's been all over this city showing what she can do musically. And I respect that. I respect her. She loved everybody. You know what I'm saying? I respect Christina. But there are some people out there who have, this guy was supposed to be some type of comedian, from what I understand. At least that's what he said. Oh, I'm a comedian. Trump is this, Trump is that. And I was just blown away. And that was early on, me starting to realize how many black folk really rock with dude. I'm not gonna make this about Trump. This is about all of the correspondents, these so-called social media or media pundits and correspondents who are trying to do what we're all doing in order to make a living without journalism degrees. I don't have one. I'm not a journalist. I'm an entertainer more than anything else. I entertain and ask questions at the same time. Anybody who knows my Corner Store television channel knows that I do. I rap. I listen to music that we all have known and loved, because I think the new music that we have, depending on who the artists are, was kind of blah. Yeah, I said blah like a mother. Ooh, excuse me, I just burped on. Kind of blah. And I actually think that most of the artists today need to be taking a page from the past, from the Commodores, from Heavy D and the Boys, from Chic, from some of the other groups. Whatever group you can think of, they need to be taking a page from that. We ain't necessarily saying you need to go back and do the music they did, but you need to understand the histrionics of what music is and take it into the future. Don't sound like everybody else. All the music today sounds the same. Be unique in your journey. And then you notice some of the people who were the most unique when it came to rap, like XXX Testacion and Young Dolph, them dudes had their own sound. You knew when they song came on, you knew that was them. And those are the people that end up getting killed. It's weird how that happens. It's weird. It's almost like they want to keep a bunch of people who sound so much similar to each other. As far as I'm concerned, social media doesn't need to be the same. The people who are trying to be in the social media spectrum shouldn't sound the same. Everybody should be doing something different to give people a variety of what they can see, listen to, and also adhere to and follow. You got to give all of us something different. I believe I do that on Corner Store Podcast. I believe I give people something different to choose from, to watch, to admire, to adhere to love, to like. That's my opinion. You may not agree with it, and that's fine. That's what we're here for. We're here not only to call each other out on certain views. We also here to listen to other people's point of view. Being closed-minded never helped a goddamn thing. You have to have an open mind in regards to everything. With that said, having a bunch of people out there that's making a living off of trying to cause some type of chaos, to me, not taking it to a spiritual thing, but you got to a certain degree, is demonic as hell. You can't tell me if you're in a store, if you're in Target and you just minding your business, and a bunch of pillows start flying over from the other fucking aisle, hitting you in the fucking head, and you just looking around like, what the fuck? And somebody's got a camera and they're recording your reactions to being hit with pillows, or somebody tapping you on the shoulder, you look and they gone and shit like that. There's even a dude out there that'll walk up to people in Home Depot and do this in their ear. Make little sexy sounds in their ear or blow on their ear. What the hell? You don't think somebody's gonna try to kill you when you do that? You're gonna do it to the wrong person and their ass is gonna murder you right there. It's already happened. There are videos of consequences of these people's actions all over the place. There's a guy who does videos talking about nothing but people who have had grown and had a following on whatever platform they were on, and how they got so enamored with themselves that they would try and do anything to keep people talking about them and watching them. You can't tell me that ain't something psychologically wrong, that there's something psychologically wrong with you if you're looking for admiration of people like that. I thought it was about the money. I knew people were having issues with social media becoming a thing when 10 years ago, when certain women on Instagram were getting popular and had people starting to follow them, they started to call you their fans. Somebody else also recognized that and came up with a whole nother application calling it what? OnlyFans. They're watching us. They're watching us be absolute fools in regards to this social media. They're watching you not doing nothing but laying around your house. I just saw on Instagram today when I had made a couple of posts on my IG Corner Store television page. And as your post is loading, or as your reel is loading, I should say, other people's reels pop up. There's this one girl, and I hate to keep bringing this up, but it is what it is. She looks great. I ain't gonna lie. Beautiful curly hair, the whole 9 yards. Her whole page is dedicated to her standing around in her house, showing her back to the camera and showing her little butt cheeks and little bitty shorts. That's the world we live in today. I'm not tripping off of that. Some people would think I'm hating on that. If that woman can get 719,000 followers, and I think that was the number that I saw for her just doing that, that shows me there's 719,000 people that ain't got much to do on their break but to go on IG and look for that young lady and watch her booty jiggle. That's the world we live in. Is my podcast super informative? In some instances, it can be. In some instances, it could just be fun. We could just be laughing. We could just be tripping off of stuff, making our opinions. That's why we call it corner. That's why I call it Corner Store Podcast, because I've been at the corner store hanging out right before I got the fuck on and laughed it up with people, got a soda, you know what I'm saying, ate some chips, talked to them. But you see the game? Oh man, Kobe this or Magic that, or yeah, man, I can't believe that they're doing this and that. That's the reason why my content is called Corner Store. Because one thing as black people that we can honestly equate to is our neighborhood store or your New York bodega or your mom and pop store down south or the neighborhood park. Well, I hang out at the park as much as I probably should, because if I did, it'd probably be the park podcast, hanging at the park podcast, or something like that. But the corner store thing, it just resonated with me because I remember those days. I remember being at Crenshaw High School and walking down 48th Street to the liquor store to go get some chips or some now ladies or something like that. I remember that store. I know I when I'm in LA, I still hit that store from time to time. That's the same store we used to go to and get chips and shit from when we was young. Or after school, I jump on the bus and get off right on my street and hit the liquor store before I went home and got some soda or something like that. And I might see somebody. Back in the day, back when I was coming up, they'd have Pac-Man or Mortal Kombat machines in the store. You fuck around and be in there an hour, 2 hours before you actually went home. You had a few quarters on you, just talking, watching people play Pac-Man or stand outside before you went home. Some people have stood outside so long in certain neighborhoods in front of the corner store, they end up getting their ass shot. There that nigga is right there and took your ass out. So there's negative and positive in regards to corner stores. But we all know what the fuck I'm talking about in regards to the idea of a corner store in our neighborhoods. White people too. There's a movie called Clerks that was made back in the day. They recently had a Clerks 2 where the guy passed away, one of the main characters in the movie Clerks. And these are white people. Guess what they was doing? Hanging out in front of a corner mini mart. One guy worked at the mini mart, the other guy worked next door at the video store. And they had two white guys, Jay and Silent Bob, standing outside selling weed and playing music on a boombox. So even white people know what I'm talking about in regards to the neighborhood corner store. That's the reason why my content is what it is, and that's the reason why I named it what I named it. No disrespect to any other person out there that's using their name as their YouTube channel or whatever they're doing. There are a lot of people out there that are doing a lot of great work. There's a guy named Trill Entertainment, Trill. All he does is catch people out there doing bullshit, Karens and Kens out there doing bullshit, and he puts their ass on blast while they out there doing racist shit. He also calls out the bullshit that's going on in the government. See, everybody's got a different angle of what they're doing on social media and on these internet. You can't hate on any of it, but you can talk about the bullshit that people are doing in regards to them trying to make money on here if it's a negative thing. The young lady who interviewed that woman in New York and called her a baby killer, you got what you deserved. You got slapped, you got socked, you got punched 2-3 times in the face, and you was leaking like a motherfucker crying. You start actually tearing up and crying. What the fuck did you think you was gonna get? What you thought you was gonna get from that? You thought you was just gonna get that woman to just be mad and cuss you out and walk off and storm away, and then you could be like, "See, that's what they all do. That's what they know. They sometimes they punch you in the face when you try to play somebody. When you try to play me, you fuck around and get punched. You better back the fuck up. And there are consequences to what that woman did to you. But an action sometimes it garners a reaction, and you got that reaction today or the other day, whenever this was. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I have some more sound that I want to play for you guys of another situation. Let me see if I can find it here, and I'm pretty sure I can, so give me 2 minutes. Moving on from that subject. Now, this trips me out right here, what I'm about to play, because this has actually happened more and more. And I think it's because of the way of the world and the way finances are. Check this out.
It's about a man who figured out how to live in a multi-million-dollar mansion for free. Didn't pay a dime, just walked in and squatted. And so far, some upset neighbors haven't been able to do anything about it. ABC's Ron Claiborne has the details.
It's a magnificent mansion in a Tony neighborhood in upscale Boca Raton, Florida, worth $2.5 million. But the guy living there these days is paying nothing. He's squatting. And at least for now, no one can legally get him out. His name is Andre Barbosa, a 23-year-old native of Brazil, seen here on his Facebook page. Barbosa moved in last September after the last owner, unable to keep up with the mortgage payments, moved out.
There's been so many foreclosures that there's been a loss of control of property.
Incredibly, the squatter filed legal papers citing adverse possession, an obscure 19th century state law that allows someone to claim an empty property by occupying it for 7 years. Barbosa, whose nickname is Loki after the Norse god of mischief, posted this no trespassing notice. Barbosa's new, neighbors aren't at all amused.
Nobody's happy. We all spent a lot of money to live on this street.
Adverse possession is legal in all 50 states. Kenneth Robinson lived in this $300,000 home in Texas for free for 8 months before he was finally ousted. In the Florida case, Bank of America tells ABC News, "We have filed the appropriate and immediate legal action to have this trespasser removed from the property."
Tell me how crazy that is. People can move into and squat in an abandoned, not really abandoned, let me change that, in a vacant not abandoned, in a vacant property, and there is a law stating that you cannot kick them out. You can't kick them out. You can't kick them out. I happen to know that that's facts. I worked for Skid Row Housing, downtown Los Angeles, a nonprofit that helps or that was being funded by the city government and federal government with grants and things of that nature to try to house homeless people downtown Los Angeles, get them off the street. This was something that was started primarily by Mayor Villaraigosa when he was in office to try to turn Los Angeles downtown into more of a viable area where the shops could make money and the cafes, the little bar. That's the reason why downtown LA looks different, though it's changed a lot. There's still a lot of crazy people to be walking around down there. Don't get it twisted. But you can go and eat and sit in LA Live and do all these different things. It changed. It changed downtown Los Angeles for the better to be able to make money down there, i.e., Times Square, New York, and certain downtowns in major U.S. cities like New York and Boston and places like that. Downtown LA was actually in such a bad state that you couldn't do any of those things. I remember a time where, hell, there was homeless people sleeping on the lawn of the city hall, of the Capitol City Hall building downtown. Not anymore. You can actually go to First Street Park now, and it's real nice, and there's a Starbucks, and people are out with their children running around. It changed the culture downtown quite a bit. But there is still a contingent of people who are so disenfranchised by the governments of local governments in major cities that they're willing to take these chances. Uh, my girlfriend lives next door to a beautiful home, an abandoned home that is owned by somebody, but for the life of me and her, this person has not made any attempts to renovate this home, to sell the home. And that's his right. That is definitely this person's right to do that. But in a city where there's over 100,000 homeless people, 100,000 homeless people live in Los Angeles County, maybe more. I've often said, I don't care where you move to, especially if you move to a great area, nice apartment, nice house, you don't see anyone on the street. It's quiet. Don't ever believe you're not being watched by somebody. If you don't see a soul, even if, let's say, you moved into an area where all of the houses are like separated by half a mile. Like your house is about, I wouldn't even say half a mile, let's say 1,000 to 2,000 feet away from each other. You can see the house, you know what I'm saying, but you don't really see your neighbors. Sometimes if you glance over there, if you're on your patio, you can see them in their yard, and you got all this yard. And don't think that they don't watch you. Don't think, and even if they don't watch you, there's somebody parked in a car. There's somebody who pulls around in that neighborhood at night when you're asleep, sitting, encasing that house. Maybe not to rob you, just watching. They're just watch. There's always some eyes on you, some fucking where. I can guarantee that. There's always somebody watching. So you always got to not only be on your P's and Q's, you also got to realize, and this is for whatever reason. I'm saying people are watching you not necessarily to do you harm. They're watching you because you moved in, what type of person you are. There are people who are homeless that are watching the. There's a lady who moved into that house next door to my girlfriend's house. If it wasn't for her dog, who is a very good dog in regards to being alert and barking at suspicious strangers, the mailman, I don't give a damn who it is. Her dog is on one. And I don't know if he probably would bite the woman. I don't know. But I know one thing, that dog ain't, is one of them people like, I don't know you, motherfucker. So he alerted her to the presence of someone being next door. This woman When they finally confronted the woman said, I've been watching this place for weeks, seeing the comings and goings and the ins and outs, and decided I was just going to live there. This person then basically moved in to this abandoned house. Now, if she had stayed there for a good amount of time, she could have claimed the same law that was stated on that video sound that I played for you. There are people out there doing real bad, and they're not willing to work and sacrifice, or they were doing that, and they just got unenamored with how the world is. Now, you and I and the people on this podcast, wherever you are, whether you're in Europe like my boy Matt, whether you're Freddie, I think Freddie's in New York, I'm not even sure. We've had Kenneth Dixon from Ohio, my nephew, all these different people in all parts of the United States and abroad. It's no different. It's no different there. There's no different anywhere. The government makes it super hard for you to exist. You got to pay taxes. You got to do all these things, as well as get up every day. Get up every day and go to some type of job to make ends meet. If you have children, you got to deal with their school. The fucking schools nickel and dime the hell out of you. Oh, it's a food drive. It's a cupcake. You got to bring cupcakes today. You got to do this. Do y'all have any canned goods? You got some clothes. We having a clothing drive. Or your kids got a project they got to do. So now you got to go to Michael's and buy construction paper and poster board and all of these different damn things. Everywhere you turn, it's money, money, money. I go to the mailbox right here where I live. What do you think's in the mailbox? Is it letters or is it checks? You know, it would be great if it was. It'd be great if it was. No, there's bills in there. Guess what's gonna happen when you die? Them same bills are gonna keep coming. Even if your people were to report to these bill collectors that you have passed away and you are no longer with us, guess what the bill collector is gonna say? Oh my God, Mr. Davis is gone. He passed away. Oh Lord. Oh God. Our condolences to you. We're so sorry to hear that. And we'd like to send our condolences and say how much we're sorry for his passing. But we do have to ask, he has an outstanding balance with us. Do you know who's going to take care of this now that he's no longer with us? Yeah. Don't get mad. Don't feel bad that the world is that like this. It's been set up this way. In hindsight, to any of the things that I'm talking about, back in the day, when there were monarchies like England and Monaco and all these different places, even in France, where there was a king in France, Napoleon and all of these different people, they were even more terrible toward their people. They would put you in chains if you didn't have the taxes, arms. If you didn't have, they would go around and knock on your door. God, it's for the king. Taxes for the king. And if your ass came to, we didn't do this well this winter. We didn't do well this winter. We don't have the money. Get out of this house. This is now property of the king. Have your ass out on the street some damn where, living in Sherwood Forest with Robin Hood. They don't give a fuck. The only thing that's different about today is they're a little bit more humane. They give you some food stamps or put you on Skid Row housing, put you in a damn place down so you can start all over again and try to build your ass back up to a semblance of civility, as they call it. That's the world that you live in. It's hard out here in these streets. The government don't have no sympathy for you. And you heard what those people said. That man, when the man is a squatter in $1 million home, The first thing came out of one of the people that interviewed we worked hard to get this house that we have. And this guy just moves in and he just takes over. That's not right. He's pissed off because of all of what he went through. Who knows what the fuck how he got that house? Everybody always talk about how hard it was for them to get where they are. We don't know your circumstances. We don't know if your father gave you money. We don't know if you inherited money. We don't know where you, even if you did work, take $100 and turn it to $100 billion. So what? Who give a fuck? Everybody's fucking journey is different. Everybody's journey is different. That's the reason why people are homeless, because are there people out there who are lazy and give up too easily? Fuck yeah, there is. They don't have the same moxie. They don't have the same pillar of strength or psychological fortitude that you might have. But there's plenty of people out there who are just as tough as nails as you are that lost every fucking thing. And we don't have no pity for each other. We don't help each other get back on the horse and ride. We'll let you walk in the desert till your ass drop and the buzzards start picking at your eyeballs. And then walk over that skeleton next time they see the skeleton on the way back from the journey. You just came on and say, damn, too bad. That's the world we live in. When in actuality, we're here to help each other. We're here to save each other from ourselves. We're here to, you don't go fishing and you fish for somebody and throw them a fish. You teach them how to make the fucking fishing rod. You teach them how to bait the hook, and you teach them how to fish. The problem is sometimes when you do that, you make a better fisherman out of that person than the fisherman you were. And jealousy is something. We don't want to see each other succeed. We don't want to see each other succeed. We don't want to see someone who was doing bad or worse than you all of a sudden make a grand turnaround and they're living their lives better than you are. It'll make you feel like you're inadequate. What's wrong with me? Not a damn thing. You should be happy in the fact that you helped that person out of their doldrum and now they're thriving. Now, if that person were to get helped by you and they forget about where they came from, that's another story. 9 times out of 10, I can guarantee you, most people who get helped and they supersede the person that helped them, they never forget that person. There are people out there you could think back on that you helped and they forgot all about you. Sure, that's fucking true. There's definitely a bunch of motherfuckers out there that's like that. Hell yeah. And they usually get what's coming to them through karma and they lose some shit. They might even still be rich, but they might lose something very precious to them behind their bullshit. And you know I'm telling the truth. That shouldn't change your opinion of the most powerful entity that created all of us. It shouldn't change your opinion about human beings because we are flawed as all get out. It shouldn't change your opinion about helping others because you helping people not for the sake of them admiring you or you being able to say, I helped you this, or I helped you that. No, you're not doing it for that. You're doing it because that's the right goddamn thing to do. I didn't know this coming up. I knew it, but I never understood it. It makes total sense to me today that is the purpose that we're here for. Yes, you're supposed to try to be a success. Yes, you're supposed to try to go out there and work hard and find your center. Yes, you're supposed to find the things that you're most talented at and nurture those things and make those things a part of your DNA so you can be a success. But you also here to take those talents, reward yourself, and then reward other people who are less fortunate than you. And that's the goddamn truth. It just is. This is a crazy world we live in, folks. I behest anyone to contest what the fuck I'm saying right here on KSP. Corner Store Podcast in the fucking building all day, every fucking day. I'm going to try my best to do these shows more and more to give you my opinion on what's going on out there in these streets, what's going on out there in this world, absolutely what's going on out there in space, because believe me, space got a lot to do with, our salvation. Space meaning asteroids coming and all kind of shit. I'll be the first to tell you we got an asteroid on the way. If NASA was to call me, you better not tell them an asteroid on the way. I'll be like, fuck you, NASA. I'm telling everybody that asteroids on the way to kill us all. We got to be informed. Nah, I'm not hiding that shit from nobody. Are you insane? I would never hide if an asteroid was heading toward Earth. You can't tell me that. You can't give me that information and I don't tell somebody. We got to find somewhere to go inside the ground, something. You not, no, hell no. Nope, 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 nope. Hey, that's something else I wanted to talk about. I'm trying to remember it. It's very, oh, there it is. I just thought about it. Here recently, a video just came out. You tell me if this is not what's wrong with relationships and what's wrong with men and women, especially black men and women, finding each other, falling in love, and getting married and having civil relationship arrangements. There's a story out right now, and I didn't know this actually happened because I wasn't a big Wendy Williams fan, of Chris Rock, who was promoting at the time a movie that he produced about black women in their hair and extensions and things of that nature, not wearing their natural hair, blah, blah, blah. And what's old girl name? God damn it. Now her name didn't escape my what is her name? He went out with her. Ah, damn. Somebody help me on the chat. Her husband used to be the coach of the Celtics that had the affair with the. She was in with Lorenz Tate in the movie where they was together. From Fridays, she played the love interest in Fridays. I know her damn name. I can't think of it to save my life right now. I just had this shit in my head. Oh my God, I can't believe this. Oh, y'all know who I'm talking about. Hey, anybody on the chat, please help me. Please help me. Chris Rock and her went on a date. It'll come to me in a second. It'll come to me in a second. Ime Udoka. Now it's crazy how I can remember his damn name and I can't remember hers. Ime Udoka, who's now the coach of the Houston Rockets and used to be the coach of the Celtics, was married to her. She's an actress, real pretty. One of the ones we've all loved and thought was real attractive over the years. Nia Long. I knew it was gonna come to me. I know I'm getting older when I start getting shit like that. Nia Long and Chris Rock actually dated. It was a blind date from what was said. And this was years ago. This is before things is out on the street and how women be like, I need a man making this much money, which is unrealistic as fuck. Because there's no black men, a whole bunch of black men out there making $40,000 to $50,000 a month, which is well over $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 a year. There's very limited, very few guys out there doing that kind of making that kind of scratch. Anyway, Nia Long went out with Chris Rock. Supposedly they had a good day. Everything was going well. And he asked her a question in regards to, oh God, I'm trying to remember. It was something to the effect of, are you seeing anybody at the time? Or are you seeing anyone, regular, or, what's your status? She was like, I ain't seeing nobody, but I can get some dick whenever I want. She said that straight out, right to him. And in his mind, that triggered something to Chris Rock, which you would have done for me too. I'd have been like, what? In my head, knowing me, I'm very, very, I wouldn't say emotional, but I'd been like, huh? What the fuck? I would have said it just like that. Like, are you for real right now? Chris took it in stride. He actually was like, oh, okay. Like that, and laughed it off. And Nia was supposedly feeling Chris Rock. And they decided to exchange numbers to, hopefully go on another date or whatever. This is when Chris Rock, this show you how long this was ago. This had to be in the 90s, early 2000s, because Chris Rock was on SNL. For those who don't remember that, Chris Rock was on SNL for about 3 years or 3 seasons or something like that in the 90s, the late 90s. This is right after Eddie Murphy was no longer, had become a star, and he was no longer on Saturday Night Live. So this was a long time ago, before the way women are today on social media. Anyway, Chris Rock decided to give her a fake phone number. She actually gave him her number. And obviously this is early on in their careers, when they were both like really starting to get maturated into the entertainment business and ingrained in their names becoming somewhat household names, I guess. And some time went on after that date, and he never called her. And she was actually liking him and decided that she would give him a call and find out why he never called, and they never went on a second date. Come to find out, when she called, the number was not his. It was a fake number. She actually had the nerve to feel some type of way about this, especially since women like her, of her ilk, meaning when I say her ilk, I mean attractive, at the time semi-successful, starting to make a name for herself, body, face, the whole shebang. She felt a little like, oh, this nigga gave me a fake number. So when they were on Wendy Williams, this subject was brought up. And Chris Rock just came out and said, look, you can't say no shit like that to me and think that I'm going to call you again. At that point, I made my mind up that you wasn't, you was for the streets, so to speak. What would make her think that was the right thing to say? Is it because it was Chris Rock? Would she have done that if that was either Morris Chestnut took her out, or Will Smith, or Boris Koji, or whatever his name is, or what's the boy name that became famous now for SWAT? I can't think of his name neither. Well, one of the main brothers out there, tall, so-called tall, dark, and handsome niggas. Because everybody know Chris Rock is, people say he ain't attractive, whatever. I don't judge niggas, but that's what I'm going on what these females saying. And the females is going crazy since this video coming out talking about, oh, well, that was very female of him to do that. Hell, that was, y'all motherfuckers is weird. Why in the world would you have the balls to say that to this man? I can get some dick whenever I need it. We don't give a fuck about that shit. We don't care if you could do that. All you telling us is that you a hoe. I was very shocked that Nia Long would say some shit like that. But after being shocked, now I understand that this type of behavior is typical from all women. Not every one of y'all say and do things like this, I would agree. So I'm not lumping you all up in one shell, but these are your representations of you guys. These women, these so-called women who are so, sophisticated and supposed to be so this and so that. They represent y'all. And this is why a lot of women that are outside of the industry have problems with people like Nia Long and Regina King. Regina King, on the other hand, has been married. I believe she's still married, and if she's not, she's never really shown that she's a piece of shit like that. Why say that, Nia? I like you. I always have liked Nia Long. I always thought she was cool. But, all they doing is showing their ass when they do shit like this. Showing who they really are. You're not going to see who they really are in these films and in these interviews. And Willie D, shout out to Willie D Live from the Ghetto Boys, has his own podcast and also his own YouTube channel. He said it best. He said, because people look good don't mean they got good attitudes or good people. Looks ain't got shit to do with it. It doesn't. Looks doesn't have a damn thing to do with it. It's integrity. It's what really is. It's about what people really are, is what it's about. How are you for real, for real? And that couldn't be more true than hearing that woman say what she said. And I applaud Chris Rock for not being a typical dude and hearing that from her and going, oh, okay, she for the streets, I'm going to still go ahead and hit. He said, fuck that. I'm not fucking with her. She out there talking about she can get dick when she wanted. I asked her if she had a man or if she was seeing anybody, and that's her response. Nah, I ain't fucking with her. Hey, shout out to you, Chris. And this ain't to put Nia Long down. Whoever sees this, you think I'm dogging her? Nah. she said the wrong fucking thing and she need to be called out for it. It's just that simple. If she sees this and she sees me on the street and be like, "Oh, you fat motherfucker, you this, that," man, bitch, I don't care about that. You ain't hurting nobody. You said what you said. Wrong is wrong. Shut your ass up. Maybe you wasn't gonna marry Chris Rock, or maybe when you kept dating him, you found him to not be as attractive as you want. Remember, you said you can get dick whenever you want, so it shouldn't have mattered, right? You got in your feelings because you really thought he was a nice guy, and to me, as far as I'm concerned, bro dodged the bullet by fucking with you. Because to me, it seems like you would have been the type of person that once you got with him and you got tired of him, you could find dick anywhere you wanted it. That's what I got from it. And that's sad as hell. Yo, hey, check this out, y'all. This is episode 154 of the Corner Store podcast right here on Corner Store Television. I appreciate you being here. We about to get the fuck up out of here, man. That's my opinion for today. Don't be out there in them streets and catch a stray. You know, keep your head on swivel and also keep God first. You know what I'm saying? Because the most important thing is to live your life right and never be wrong. You feel me? It's your boy, OMD, Old Man Dex 300, aka Doc Savage and Man of Bronze. We'll catch you next time. Episode 155 coming up. When we jump on live, you jump on with us. We'll holler at you.